Hello, ladies, gentlemen, robots, time travelers of all ages. Time travelers of all ages. This is Zon, the Daddy Dev. Welcome to Devlog to finish. I might change my name to Title Pending, God knows. What we're going to be doing in this episode is I will be talking about game development news related to the project I'm working on. And I'll be also talking how to use Blender like it's Inkscape, thinking of Blender in a sense of a 2D artist. So without further ado, I'm going to start talking about Armory Engine. Why is this important? Is because if you are going to be making a 3D game and you have crap programming skills, you should really consider using your visual editing system, right? A kind of visual scripting system. Unfortunately, right now, Godot 3's visual scripting system is, according to the community, it's really a bunch of programmers getting together, not necessarily artists. But for artists, especially 3D artists, you want to look into the Armory engine. However, this is some big news. Ben Tristram from Cambridge is doing a Kickstarter related to the Godot engine course. If you're unfamiliar with his work, he's pretty much the best Unity course for C# and learning how to use Unity. Again, UEMDY. He's known for that. Tons of students, great course. I actually got into it, and yes, he is in there. Now, why is that important? Well, because as we look through his Kickstarter, him getting into the game engine of Godot 3 means that he sees Godot as a legitimate option, alternative to Unity and Unreal. That's why that's some big news. And the other thing is, just a note about this, I am going to stick to Godot 3 because I have a lot of support from the community and a lot of people are helping me, like Ruben, to actually make a very polished commercial game in Godot 3. That is the goal of my 2 to 3 years in this project. Now, the other thing to note, as I believe $10 is totally worth it just to learn GDScript and or C#. The other thing is that he has other course bundles, which you can also get into and buy a Blender tutorial or a Kitra tutorial. Other types of, not tutorials, sorry, full courses. So for like $30 or $40, you're getting the equivalent of something that is $1,000 to $30,000 of education. Yes, with actual people and instructors to help you along. So Godot 3 GDScript beginners, this is something that would be totally worth it for you. However, for me, thanks to Ruben and other people's help, I don't need this guy. I ironically bought his Unity course. That's why I know how good this guy is and how well his courses are put together, but I didn't finish the course. He also offers certification, so maybe through his course there'll be Godot certification, but again, it's not for me. I'm just literally going to make a game. Hopefully it's really good and I can have a second career that pays hopefully more than a teacher, or maybe I do 2 jobs the rest of my life. Anyway, point is that if you are a beginner and you need a standardized course, he's entering the game. Him entering the game legitimizes the fact that Godot is more than likely going to be a really good, strong competitor alternative to Unreal, or definitely a strong competitor or alternative to Unity. And that's just something I want to share in the news that is related to me developing. Thank you, everybody who's helping me make this game. Anyway, let's jump back into this whole idea of Blender like Inkscape. The idea of Blender like Inkscape is to think of everything like it's 2D. Because if you think about a box, literally a square is 8 2D planes, and that's what we're going to do. What you're going to need here are these shortcuts if you're going to be making the leap from not knowing anything about Blender to actually, as a 2D artist or person who makes 2D stuff, and actually making a 3D model of the game, or a 3D model for a game in an engine like Godot 3. I'm not going to go in all these. You can freeze the frame, but because I will be saying them as I use them, and hopefully you'll figure out what this is. Also, a little note here on Alt-M, don't erase. I did look into this whole deleting and merging vertices, but this is the reason why I've done this video 12 times. It is better to keep things as simple as you can and not make too many mistakes that would cause you to have to delete, at least at this type of stage where I'm talking about low poly art, so forth and so on. Another thing too is that before we get started, if you want to know, get a little bit more in depth in the things I'll be talking about, I did research, and like always, I share my research. This time I'll share my research in a playlist that you can click here on the I button, that, you know, the YouTube cards or whatever somewhere over here. Now, the thing about Blender weapons, this is really good. You can see where I'm going. I got most of my stuff that I'm using for today's video from here. And if you want a little bit of spoilers, you can look at video 5, which doesn't have a lot of talking, but I don't think there's any talking in that video, but actually literally shows how to texture a model that you make and use a pixel art texture. And that's something I will be doing in this game. I'll be using pixel art textures because I do like pixel art. It's also, again, pretty simple and can get great results. Now, as you can see here, this is the gun. Pretty cool. If I zoom out, it looks 2D. I hope it does look 2D. That's the idea, right? Okay. And how did I get to this point? Let's do a quick recap. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, let's do a quick recap on how I got to this point and why I'm doing it like this. Shift, move down. All right, the reason I'm doing this is because there is my HD version of the gun. Again, I've been making this video so many times, I don't know what to hide or not hide. Let's hide this. And what I did is that I had like gun references, again, for this character right here. This is the character, a rough character design. My game will have characters that you can make, customizable characters. I think it's a big thing. So I've got to make body parts that all look the same. Now for the gun itself, I started designing the actual arms and hands and so forth and so on. And I'll do another video down later when I get closer to actually animating in 2D with Inkscape, how to do that with Godot 3 and Inkscape. But for now, needless to say, I have all these guns. I started working on gun positions, different perspectives. And I realized instead of faking 3D, I should make 3D. Why? Because making 3D instead of faking 3D, I can actually design one gun. And since my gun is an energy weapon, I don't have to worry about bullets, moving parts, you know, all the cool John Wick stuff. There's no John Wick stuff here at all. A little bit of a note, I did read a lot of comics when I was a kid. I was a huge fan of all the X-Men stuff, X-Factor, Deadpool, Cable, all that stuff. And I don't want to say the name, but there's an artist, a bunch of them, who are notorious at drawing bad anatomy. Not just anatomy of people, but of anatomy of weapons. So when I did try a career in comics, many artists, underpaid of course, told me I need to look up real guns and study gun anatomy, that guns have their own anatomy. So which I did. One of those things you'll find in gun anatomy is ergonomics. You want to make sure that your handle is something that can be held. This point right here is where the thumb or the palm bones, I guess like the under thumb bone, I don't know what to call that. The carpal is actually going to reach around with the thumb, and these are going to be for the hand, so forth and so on. Another thing you want to check related to your character design, especially if making something 3D, where unlike 2D, you're not going to necessarily need to know where the handle is. For 3D, especially if you're going to animate a character grabbing it, you want to double check that that character can actually grab it. All right, I'm looking at this right now, and I think the finger can fit through the trigger hole. So that means the fingers are going to have to be a little bit smaller than I have them in the character design. But overall, it does fit the palm, it does fit the thumb, and you can have an underhand actually hold under it. Another thing to note, related to where I am, using this idea, or where this idea started to appeal to me, was there is a game called Relic Hunters, and Relic Hunters is a 2D game. You can see the other video, I'll put it in the description there, is a 2D game that uses 3D guns, and I can understand why. Once I have all these 3D guns, then I will be able to then position them into different places, and then I will draw digitally or traditionally over those gun placements in relationship to where my character will be for those animations. It's going to be a fun process all around if I get there, but it's a slow process because I have work training right now. Life is terrible. FYI, I will be doing more of the Ruben videos. Just give me some time when I have more free time. All right, so right now what we have here is there's two guns. I'm going to hide this one right here. And this is the Pew Pew Die HD version, because that's the name of the gun. Pew Pew Die HD. All right, and this gun is the reason I made it bigger is that I could take this gun and I could then move it to a image editing software such as Photoshop, if you like spending money, Manga Studio, which is less expensive by far, or a free version of image editing software like Kitra or GIMP, and then it saved that as a ping, and that's what I did. I don't have to do this video again. I've done this video like I think 18 times now. Oh my gosh. So now that we've got that, without further ado, we're back here in Blender. We're going to actually start making more of the other guns. The other version of this videos that I did that you're not going to see because of terrible, terrible mistakes that I've made, I made the handle. Now I'm going to try and make the rest of the body of the gun. What I'm going to do here is that I am going to press Shift A. I'm going to add a new plane or a new cube. Make sure that cube is not... Oh, did it do it again? Yeah, be careful about this. I had selected one object and it's putting it under there. That's not what I want to do. That would really tick me off. Like, really? Seriously? All right. Again, the lesson you learned here, not related to like editing videos, make sure my handle's not messed up. I'm actually going to save a new file. Actually, yeah. Let me save as... I wanted to keep this as one. It's not going to happen. We're going to call this blend 2. See? Oh my gosh. Just one of those days. All right. Gun first gun v1. Works for me. Save as Blender file. Great. Because I just so many mistakes. I don't want to make any more mistakes. All right. Okay. So that I'm going to click away from world or maybe just camera, just something that doesn't equal that thing. It drives me up the wall that it just keeps doing that to me. All right. Scene. Yeah. Let's see. Let's click on scene. No, don't delete scene. Just want to click on you. All right. Okay. Shift A. No, not Shift A. Shift S. Okay. Maybe not. Shift S. Control, Shift A, yes, mesh. We're gonna be adding one of these. We're gonna be adding a new cube. There we go. All right, cube is huge. It's fine. It's huge. It's fine. It's big. It's so big. Oh my god. Okay. All right. It's fine. All right. We're gonna press S. S will shrink it down, relatively. All right. We're gonna check the size of it to the other one. Looks pretty good. Then we're going to not work on the vector. We're gonna work on the translate. It's weird because I don't know how to do this, but I just click it once, then it should show me the translate. I'm going to go 0. I'm going to go 0, and I'm going to go 0. The reason I'm going 0 is so that I can match up the other one. Oh, it doesn't look like it is. So it's drop down. Zoom in a little bit. Make sure it is on the thing. Okay, so weird, man. So weird. All right, let's see 0 again. Move it over. I see. Let's move it back. Let's see the sound. All right. Okay. And then let's see. Down. Okay. Great. Now, is it perfectly aligned? No. I don't know. How much bigger should I make this? This is where things get a little weird. I am going to keep it like that. And I will try to match it as best as I can. Let's see if I can do a different perspective. I'm going to go to my views, see if I can find one that's better, maybe front. No, not front. Let's see, view, maybe right. Right. That's a little bit better. All right, and hold on. Oopsie, Control Shift Z to undo. Let's go back to view. Let's go to right. And I want to press Shift, and I want to scroll down till that levels out. And then I can start matching things again. All right, so actually that's pretty good. It's not perfect. But what in the world is? What in the world is? That looks lined up. That's good. That also looks lined up. No, that doesn't. So we're going to shrink it again a little bit. I could actually just press down. I could press S, but the only problem is that would shrink too much. So let's go click this. Again, we're going to press Shift. Shift. Oh, object mode, edit mode. Okay, let's select something. Now let's go to object. All right, edit mode. Edit mode. Okay, all right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift, press left. Oopsie. Click away. Okay, left, Shift and left, right button, Shift and right button, Shift and right button, Shift and right button. I'm now going to pick the blue slot. When I click it, I'm going to press G, but when I press G, I am going to press the middle mouse button. No, that's not what I want to do. G, and then on G. There you go. Is that perfect? All right. Okay, as long as I keep it straight. And then I'm going to match it as best as I can with eye level. And that looks good. Good. Right click. And that also looks good. Okay, it doesn't look like it's turned at all. Looks like, no, we have to move it up a little bit. G. And then left click. Perfect. Close enough. And you can always edit it later, but that looks good enough for me. All right, so this is what I'm going to do for the main part of the gun. I am now going to start extruding it and treating it like it is a 2D plane, 2D file, so forth and so on. That's a little bit too much, so let's select only the ones that we need. So for this method to work, you really need to get 2 planes, or let's see, we'll get all 4, but we keep our view the same, kind of like the top-down thingy. All right, okay. Now that I'm here, I also want to see if I can see this better. So yeah, sure, but let's go into solid instead. All right, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press G, and I'll move this down as best as I can. Now, if I want to keep this actually like a box, I could also press middle mouse, but that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to assist, and all right, and then press again. All right, now the thing is I want to get the top, So again, let's go back to wireframe. I'm going to select these things right here, 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 and here. All right, then I'm going to press G again, and I'm going to move it up. Uh-oh. So now that's not going straight. So how do I get it to go straight? I click on this one right here, and oopsie. Middle mouse. Oh, G, middle mouse, middle mouse. And then I'm on the green one, and I go up, and that should keep it straight. And then I press right click. And let's see if that is 7. Looks pretty straight. Shift to move over. Make sure there's, yes, the lines are straight. Fantastic. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this part so that I can actually move the gun over here. And a little FYI, when you make things like the handle and you need to make things more curved, you have to actually use more polys. So that is one thing that's different from Inkscape. But what is the same like Inkscape that I want people to see is Inkscape is a lot of tracing. And that's literally what I'm kind of doing here. All right, I'm going to press G, press that button, red on the red. Yes. Ooh, no, red on the red. Yes. And move over there, so forth and so on until it's there. Yes, right click. All right, cool. Now I am looking like I have more of a gun. Right? That's cool. See, so what ends up happening is thinking of things in two-dimensional planes, just 8 of them, you can actually start making your gun or making objects, so forth and so on. All right, I think that's where I'm going to stop this here. I just kind of want to show my progress where it's at. I'm going to go back to solid, right? And yeah, that's looking pretty good. It's starting to look like a weapon. Now, the other thing, I just want to talk about the handle again, because again, you didn't see this video. And again, if you look at the playlist, you can catch up with all the other stuff that I've done. But let's look at the gun handle one more time. I'm going to go back to edit mode. I'm going to go here to scene, so lower that. Oh, my gas range. Okay, here we go. The QB cube gun handle. Let's go to gun handle. And when I'm in gun handle, I just want to kind of show this in edit mode, is that all these vertices, the first vertices that you add, and you can see this in the tutorial, is I start with the big vertices, and then I press Control R. And when I press Control R, let's see if I can select 2. Let me go back to wireframe. And all the best tutorials that I've researched and found talk about wireframe is the best way to edit this stuff. Is I press Control R, and that gives me, see, extra vertices to actually start making better, so forth and so on. And I'll be using those later, of course, to make things more roundish, to have more feel like a character is actually holding it. But again, I want to keep things as simple as I can with this design. Now looking overall, let's go back. We'll double check here. And we'll go to solid one more time. And that's looking really good, right? It's starting to look like a weapon. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed all this jazz. I'm Zon the Daddy Dev. I will be putting up more Ruben videos, at least another Ruben and me video this weekend. And thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.